can't stop smiling, guys. This movie did this to me. What is up, everyone? My name is Zach. Oh my god, I got an early screener of Spider-Man Homecoming. Let's talk about this. Spider-Man has always been one of my favorite characters in just general. I've always loved his comics. I've always loved the character itself, and I've just always been a huge fan of it. And when I found out he was finally coming to the MCU, it honestly almost teared me up because it's what I've been wanting to see for a very long time. Don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of what came before, besides the Andrew Garfield films. I like Andrew Garfield, just not the films itself. But for me, this made me really excited to see what they could do with this. And Tom Holland as the leading man, I loved him in The Impossible and Lost City of Z, so this movie was a dream come true for me. I have to say, Spider-Man Homecoming doesn't just meet my expectations, it exceeds it to such a high level that it is honestly superb. Well, Spider-Man Homecoming, it isn't the origin story you usually would get with the solo first film of a superhero, but it is a great story. It sprinkles in a little bit of the origin story, and it's pretty much just about Spider-Man. What happens after him, after the events of Civil War, when he's been brought into this world of Avengers and creatures and from aliens from outer space, and what does he do now? He's just an ordinary kid in high school during the day, and at night, he's Spider-Man. This movie does a great way of balancing and showing how he has to balance both ways. Some of the high school elements in here are some of the best parts of the whole film, especially the group of friends he has. Ned, he's the best friend you want to have for life. He got your back. He's one of the best comedic supports I've ever seen in a Marvel movie. And did I mention, this movie has some of the best comedic relief ever in any Marvel movie to date. I can't remember, there wasn't a single joke that didn't hit for me. I laughed, I giggled, I smiled, and there's laughs where I was gut-busting laughing. It was one of the funniest Marvel movies to date, and one of the funniest movies I've seen in a very long time. The story overall is so freaking phenomenal. There's twists, there's turns. Me on the edge of my seat, wanting to see what was happening and not wanting the movie to end and just keep going on. I do want to address one thing. Robert Downey Jr. is great as Iron Man, as always, but the trailers did show a lot of his scenes. He does have some scenes in here that you don't see in the trailer, but this movie is not an Iron Man movie. This movie is purely Spider-Man. I'm so happy they made it that way. John Watts directed this film, and I have to say, this is the best directing for a Spider-Man film. The action was so freaking phenomenal. All the scenes in here, I don't want to say it's one of the best Spider-Man action scenes overall, but it really is phenomenal to see some of these action scenes. Once you see in the trailer, I have to say, you know, you might be wondering, did I get spoiled? No, because each of those scenes adds more elements to it that just gets you more hyped up and hyped up and hyped up. Yeah, there are some things going around that there's too many villains in the movie. No, there isn't. Vulture is in the film, played by Michael Keaton. I have to say, when they announced Vulture was going to be the villain of this, I was kind of like, why? Like, Vulture? But giving the gravitas that Michael Keaton gives to any role he performs in, Vulture is one of the best MCU villains. And MCU usually has a lot of problems with villains. No, not with Vulture. Vulture is probably the best villain since Loki, and that's not saying a lot because it's a Marvel, but really, Vulture stole a lot of scenes, and Michael Keaton gave so much to what could have just been an villain. Michael Keaton did a superb job in here. The rest of his friends in here that go to his school that plays Flash Thompson, Zendaya's character, and just in general, his love interest as well, was just, they all did a great job. And the thing I give props to really much is with the love interest. You could have made it all about that, and they didn't. They made it in such a cute, realistic manner that felt like it was something out of high school, and I have to give so much props to Marvel and Sony for that. Go on and on and on about Spider-Man Homecoming, but what is there to say? I don't want to go into any spoilers and give away scenes, but really, this movie has the best comedic relief. Some of the best lines in the movie are just from Ned and Spider-Man and Aunt May. Wow, Marissa Tomei did a great job as well in here. Also the hottest aunt you'll ever see in a movie. Also have to throw in great characters, great dynamic between high school and being a superhero. And like I said, it feels like a Breakfast Club or a Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and you really feel that John Hughes vibe in there. The music, the soundtrack, the score. This score actually in this film was very enticing. I usually don't pick out scores in films that much unless they're really good, and this one was phenomenal. I honestly really loved Spider-Man Homecoming. The pacing and everything was fantastic around. I loved the dialogue, this writing, The story they told with Spider-Man and Tom Holland's performance in here was fantastic. To me, he is my favorite Spider-Man to date. Peter Parker and Spider-Man, he did a phenomenal job. The action scenes were great to see on the big screen. The score was fantastic. The comedic relief would never fell flat. It was always great timing and just made you laugh your ass off. I have to praise Spider-Man Homecoming for all the great things it's done. This is easily the best Spider-Man movie. This is easily the best Spider-Man performance we've ever gotten, and Peter Parker performance. This film balances everything so damn well, and I just have to give Spider-Man Homecoming an A+. I know I might have repeated a lot of things throughout this review and might have not have gone into a lot of detail, but honestly, I don't want to give away anything for this film because I know a lot of headlines are in this film. I went into not knowing anything really, besides what I've seen in the trailer, and the trailer honestly does not spoil anything that much. You see a lot more of Iron Man than you do Spider-Man in those trailers, and honestly, it kind of marketed it a little bit wrong, but I have to say that, like, I'm fine with that because this didn't feel like an Iron Man movie. It's a Spider-Man film. And that's what I wanted to see. If you had any doubts about Spider-Man or Tom Holland, see Homecoming. I promise you, you're going to walk out with the biggest smile on your face, having such an enjoyable time. This honestly probably will be my favorite movie of this year, as of right now. There's a lot more movies coming out this year, but Spider-Man Homecoming stole my heart, and I freaking love it. If you're a Spider-Man fan, you're gonna adore this film. All that said, since this is an early review and most of you guys haven't seen Spider-Man Homecoming yet, what are your excitement level for Spider-Man Homecoming? And in the future, since we got Vulture in this film, what villain would you like to see? Don't name like Venom or Carnage. We know they're getting their own spin-off movie, but name someone cool. For me, I really want to see Mysterio. Mysterio has always been one of my favorites, and I also want to see them sprinkle in some MCU Netflix characters in there. They all take place in New York. Listen to me, Disney and Marvel. Let's throw them in there, sprinkle them in a bit. But other than that, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you want to see more, make sure to like and subscribe. I am going to be putting out an Edgar Wright ranking video this weekend because I love Edgar Wright. He's one of my favorite filmmakers. And Baby Driver came out this weekend. But next weekend, you will get a ranking video of all the Spider-Man films because that's when Spider-Man Homecoming actually comes out. But besides that, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video.